Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Tamataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Pinky Mataji. So our host for today will be Keshav Gokulananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you, Vrindavan Chanda Prabhu. So, Hare Krishna. We're just waiting for Sutapa Prabhu to join us this evening, and then we'll commence.
Keshav
Gokulanand Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Sutapa Prabhu has joined in.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. So Sutapa Prabhu is here. So most of us know Sutapa Prabhu. He's well kind of known, renowned speaker, sought after. I'll just do a quick introduction for those who may not know him. His Grace Sutapa Prabhu is a resident monk at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, and he oversees the monastic program. He also leads on national outreach projects and is a mentor and counselor for the community's youth groups. He writes and teaches courses on the on spirituality with the affiliated college, the School of Bhakti, and has also developed many courses which are administered by the School of Bhakti. Also has compiled quite a few books. Quite a few of us have got his books on this subject matter, and he also lectures at major university, himself being a graduate from the UCL, University College London, in Management Information Systems. And for the past 20 years, he has studied in depth these Sanskrit texts, and so very profound knowledge of all Shastras. So a very warm welcome to Sutapa Prabhu. And now I'd like to hand over to him to start with the recitation of the Sanskrit verses. And if you'd like to introduce himself and say a few words. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Keshav Prabhu, thank you so much for your kind introduction. Thank you to Divyanam Prabhu and the team, Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu, for inviting me today. It's always wonderful to be with all of you. Keshav Prabhu, I should say the Sanskrit or English, or how do you normally do it?
Yeah, so we normally do Sanskrit and English, but because 11th chapter has got a few verses, 55. Yeah, so if you can go through the Sanskrit, that would be really nice. Thank you.
Okay, I'll try my best. I'm not 100% like there might be even more qualified devotees on the call than me. If anyone's particularly enthusiastic, they can lead. Otherwise, I can lead it.
I think if you start Sutapa Prabhu, yeah,
I should do it.
be
Yeah.
great. Thank
Okay,
you.
fine.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm
are you going to move this
verses.
screen so I can just look at this screen?
Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen with the Sanskrit verses now.
Okay, perfect. So we can all follow this, myself included. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Hare Krishna, everyone. Again, my obeisances to all of you. Om Agyanati Mirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya vacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. So I hope you can hear me okay. Keshav Prabhu, is my connection okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Fine, thank
okay,
you.
Perfect. So Hare Krishna, everyone. So the 11th chapter is quite long, and half of the verses are in the longer meter. So I hope everyone will be able to follow along. Apologies in advance if I make some mistakes. It's been a long time since I recited the 11th chapter. but Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He sees the effort, the attempt. So I'll try my best. And it's always wonderful to read Krishna's words. So we'll go forward like this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Arjuna Uvacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guyam Adhyatma Samgitam Yatyakvatvam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama Bhavapyayo Hi Bhutanam Shruto Vishtaraso Maya Tvatta Kamalapatraksha Mahatmyam Apichavyayam Evametad yathathatvam atmanam panameshvara drashtum ichchami te rupam eshvaram purushottama manyase yaditachakyam maya drashtum iti prabho yogeshvara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashyame partharupani satachotha sahasrasha nanavidhani divyani nanavarna kritini cha pasyadityan vasunrudran ashvino marutastatha bahunadrashtapurvani pasyacharyani bharata Ihaikastam jagatkritsnam pashyadya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha yachan yadrashtumichasi natumam sakyase drashtum aneneva sachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogameshwaram. Sanjaya uvacha Evamukta tato rajan mahayogeshvaro hari darshayam ashaparthaya paramam rupameshwaram. Aneka vaktranayanam anekadbhuta darshanam anekadivyabharanam divyaneko dhyayayudam divyamalyambaradharam divyagandhanulepanam Sarvascharyamayam devam anantam vishvato mukham divi surya sahasrasya bhavat yuga paduttita yadi bhasadrishi shashyad bhashastasya mahatmanaha tatrekastam jagatkritsnam pravibhaktam ekeda Apashyad deva devasya sharire pandavastada tatha sa vishmaya visto rishtaroma dhananjaya pranamya shirasha devam kritanjalira bhashata. Arjuna uvacha pashyami devam stava deva dehe Sarvam stata bhuta vishesha shangan Brahmanamisham kamalashanashtam Rishimscha sarvanuragam divyan Anekabahu daravaktra netram Pashyami tvam sarvatanantarupam Nantam namadhyam napunastavadim Pashyami vishveshvara vishvarupa Kiritinam gadinam chakrinam cha tejo rasim sarvato diptimantam Pasyami tvam durnirikshyam samanta diptanalarka dyutim aprameyam Tvam aksharam paramam veditavyam Tvam asya vishvasya param nidhanam Tvam avyaya shashvata dharma gopta Sanatanastvam purusho mato me अनादिमध्यान्तमनन्तवीर्यम् अनन्तबाहुं शशिसूर्यनेत्रं पश्यामि त्वं दीप्ताहुताशवक्त्रं स्वतेजसा विश्वमिदं तपन्तम् द्या वा पृथिव्योरिदमन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशस्त सर्वा दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपमुग्रं तवेदं लोकात्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन् अमीहि त्वं सूरसङ्गा विशन्ति केचित् पिता प्राजन्यल्यो गृह्णन्ति स्वस्ति त्यक्त्वा महर्षिसिद्धसङ्घाः स्तुवन्ति त्वं स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलाभिः रुद्रादित्यवशवो ये च साध्या विश्वेस्विनो मारुतश्चोसमापश्च गन्धर्वयक्षासुरसिद्धसङ्घा वीक्षन्ति त्वं विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे रूपं महत्ते बहुवक्त्रनेत्रं महाबाहुबाहुबाहुरूपादं बाहुदरं बाहुदंष्ट्राकरालं दृष्ट्वा लोका प्रव्यथितास्तथाहम् नाभास्पृशं दीप्तमनेकवर्णं व्यक्ताननं दीप्तविशालनेत्रं दृष्ट्वा हि त्वं प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा धृतिं न विन्दामि समं च विष्णु दंष्ट्राकलानि चतुर्मुखानि दृष्ट्वैव कालानलसन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्मा प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास अमी च त्वं धातराष्ट्रस्य पुत्रा सर्वे सहैवावनिपालसङ्गे भीष्मो द्रोणसूतपुत्रस्तथासौ सहास्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यै वक्त्राणि ते त्वारमना विशन्ति दंष्ट्राकरालानि भयानकानि केचिद् विलग्ना दशनान्तरेषु सन्दृश्यन्ते चूर्णितैरुत्मनागे यथा नदीनां बहवोऽम्बुवेगा समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामि नरलोकवीरा विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति यथा प्रदीप्तां ज्वलनं पतंगा विशन्ति नाशाय संस्मृतवेगा तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकास्तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगा लेलीयसे ग्रसमाना समन्ताल्लोकान् समाग्रान् वदनेर्ज्वलब्धि तेजोभिरपूर्यजमक् समग्रं भाषस्तवोग्रा प्रतपन्ति विष्णु आख्याहि मे को भवनुग्ररूपो नमोऽस्तु ते देववरा प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं नहि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिं श्रीभगवानुवाच कालोऽस्मि लोकाक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धो लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्ता ऋतेऽपि त्वं न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे ये वस्थितः प्रत्यनिकेषु योधा तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम् मायेविता निहतपूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन् द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयाद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यानपि योधवीरान् माया हतां त्वं जहिमा व्यतिष्ठा युध्यस्व जेतासि रणे सपत्नान् सञ्जय उवाच एतत् श्रुत्वा केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमाना किरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एवा कृष्णं सा गद्गदं भीता प्रणम्य अर्जुन उवाच स्थाने ऋषिकेश तवा प्रकीर्त्या जगत्प्रहर्षत्यनुराज्यते च रक्षांसि भीतानि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वे नमस्यन्ति च सिद्धसङ्घा कस्माच्च ते नानमरेन् महात्मान् गरीयसे ब्रह्मणोऽप्यादिकर्त्रे अनन्तदेवेश जगन्निवास त्वम् अक्षरं सत् असत् तत्परं यत् त्वम् आदिदेवा पुरुषस्पुराणस् त्वम् अस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानं वेदासि वेद्यं च परं च धाम त्वया ततं विश्वमनन्तरूपा वायोर्यमग्निर्वरुणा प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपितामहश्च नमो नमस्तेऽस्तु सहस्रकृत्वा पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते नामा पुरस्ताद् अथ पृष्ठतस्ते नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वत एव सर्व अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्त्वं सर्वं समाप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वा सखेति मत्वा प्रशभं यदुक्तं हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति अजानत माहिमानं तवेदं माया प्रमादत् प्रणयेन वापि यच्छावः सार्थमसत्कृतोऽसि विहारसायासनभोजनेषु एकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षं तत्क्षामये त्वम् अहमप्रमेयं पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य त्वम् अस्य पूज्यश्च गुरुर्गरीयान् न त्वत्समोऽस्त्याभ्यधिका कुतोऽन्यो लोकात्रयेऽप्यप्रतिमा प्रभाव तस्मात् प्रणम्या प्रणिनाथया कायं प्रसादये त्वम् अहमीशमीड्यं पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव सख्यु प्रिया प्रिययार्हसि देव शोधुम् अदृष्टपूर्वं हृषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तम् इच्छामि त्वं द्रष्टुम् अहं तथैव तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते श्रीभगवानुवाच माया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदं रूपं परं दर्शितमात्मयोगात् तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यं यन्मे त्वदन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वम् न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनेर्न दानेर्न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रे एवं रूपसख्याहं नृलोके द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा मा ते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावो दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमिदृन्ममेदं व्यपेतभिप्रीतमना पुनस्त्वं तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य सञ्जय उवाच इत्यार्जुनं वासुदेवस्ततोक्त्वा स्वकं रूपं दर्शयाम आश भूय आश्वासयाम आश च भीतमेनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य वपुर्महात्मा अर्जुन उवाच दृष्ट्वेदं मानुषं रूपं तव सौम्यं जनार्दन इदानीम् अस्मि संवृत्ता साचेता प्रकृतिं गता श्रीभगवानुवाच सुदुर्दर्शम् इदं रूपं drishtavanasi mama deva apyasya rupasya nityam darshanakangshina naham vedir na tapasha na danena na chejaya sakya eva vidam drishtam drishtavanasi mam yatha bhaktyatvānanyaya sakhya aham evam vidorjuna gnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhakta sangavarjita nirvaira sarvabhuteshu yasamameti pandava. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Shu Upanishadshu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vishwarup Darshan Yoga Nama Ekadasho Adhyayaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you. Apologies, maybe some mistakes. I didn't do that for a long time. Keshav Prabhu, can you tell me what time I should go till now on the...
Yes, yeah, you can continue
it's
for...
10 past 8 now. So how long shall I speak for?
So you can continue till for 20 minutes should be fine. Yeah.
20 minutes, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Hare Krishna, everyone. My obeisances to you. We are reading today from the 11th chapter of the Gita. Krishna in the 10th chapter, Opulence of the Absolute Truth. He gave Krishna the full audio version of all of his opulences. He said, I'm the best of mountains in water. I'm the taste in water, the light of the sun and moon, of snakes and Vasuki. He gave all his opulences in audio format. And then finally, after finishing the 10th chapter, or while finishing the 10th chapter, Krishna said, Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimad orjitam eva va tattadeva vagachatvam mamatejam sasambhavam. Krishna looks at Arjuna, he says, I've given you 82 of my opulences. This is just one spark of my splendor. There's so much more to say. Now, Krishna is a genius. Krishna is amazing. He is the best teacher. So teachers know that some people learn by hearing and some people learn by seeing. So he has given to Arjuna all the opulences by audio version in chapter 10. So now what Krishna does in chapter number 11 is he gives the visual, the video, the animated version of everything he's been saying. And in the 11th chapter, Krishna shows to Arjuna the universal form. If you want to remember this chapter, the easiest way to remember it is by remembering the word Rupa. Okay? Rupa means form. Krishna has many, many different types of forms. One of Krishna's forms is known as Sadbhuj Rupa, which means Krishna who has 6 arms. This form of Krishna is meant to show that Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Krishna has another type of Rupa known as Chaturbhuj Rupa. This is known as the 4-armed form. The purpose of this form is to demonstrate that Krishna is the maintainer of everything. Krishna also has his most confidential form. This is known as the Manushyam Rupa, the human-like form. And the purpose of this form is to exhibit the sweetness, the charm, the color and charisma of God. But in chapter number 11, Krishna doesn't show any of these forms. He shows a different type of form called the Vishvarupa. And the Vishvarupa means the universal form. And the purpose of this form is to show that Krishna is in charge, in control, and ultimately destroying everything. It's the very fierce form of the Lord. and it's the form of the Lord in which the entire manifestation of the material world rests. And therefore, if you remember the word rupa, then you will remember everything in this form, everything in this chapter, because the basic flow is like this. R stands for request. The first thing Arjun does is he requests Krishna, can you show me the form in which you are pervading the entire world? Now one will ask, Arjun is already seeing Krishna in his most colorful, charismatic, charming, beautiful form of the Manusha Rupa. Why does he want to even see the Vishvarupa? Arjun, remember, is asking Krishna questions. Krishna is answering, and this conversation is to establish philosophy, theology, and the divinity of Krishna for generations to come. And therefore, Arjun requests Krishna that show your universal form, not because he is in any doubt, not because he is actually so interested, but the deeper reason why he requests Krishna to show the universal form is to convince everyone in the future that don't misunderstand Krishna. Don't think that he's just a young boy stealing butter from houses. Don't just think he's some child who is beautiful, who's charming, but is a kid after all. No, no, no. Don't misunderstand. This Krishna, unassuming as he is the Supreme Lord in charge of everything. And therefore, Arjun says to confirm without a shadow of a doubt that you are indeed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Ishvara, the Supreme Controller. Please show your universal form. R stands for request. U stands for universal form, because what does Krishna do when Arjun requests? Krishna fulfills his desire, because Krishna fulfills the desire of his devotees. Actually, that Krishna wants to establish his supremacy is secondary. The main reason Krishna shows his universal form is because Arjun asked him. And when a devotee asks Krishna to do something, a devotee of the caliber of Arjun, Krishna cannot refuse. In Bhagavatam, Krishna says, Aham bhakta paradhino hashyan tantra ivadvija. I am not an independent man. Don't think that I am an independent personality just because I'm the supreme. Ashvan tantra ivadvija. I am not independent. I am completely dependent on my devotees. Sadhavo hridayam mayam sadhunam hridayam toham. They are in my heart, I am in their heart. We're inseparable, and therefore I'm under their control. So Arjun asked Krishna to show the universal form. So Krishna showed the universal form. When Krishna showed the universal form, Arjun was flabbergasted. He said, Krishna, I treated you as a friend. We were sitting on the same sofa. We were eating from the same plates. We were familiar in so many ways. And now I'm seeing your majesty. In the universal form, Arjun saw all the planets, the sun, the moon. He saw all the universes. Arjun saw the rivers, the mountains. He saw all living entities, the demigods, the sages, everyone. And he even saw himself and all his family members who are assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And what's more, he saw all of them were destined to die. And this was a shocking scene for Arjun. When Arjun saw the entirety of the universe, past, present, and future, all events, and the ultimate destruction of the Kauravas in the universal form, he saw all of this. He became very, very fearful. And then Krishna revealed to Arjun, Kalosmi, I am time. And time, in the English saying, in the English language, they say, time and tide wait for no person. So Krishna said, I am time, and everything is brought to destruction by my will. So Arjun is flabbergasted. And then Krishna says something amazing to Arjun. He said, Tasmatvam utishta yashola bhashva jitva shatrun bhungshvarajam samriddham. Arjun, get up, fight. Why has this weakness overcome you? I want you to participate in this battle and I want you to win a kingdom. And then what does Krishna say? Nimita matram bhavasavya sachin. Arjun, just be my instrument. Everything has already been concluded. There's no question of what the outcome of this battle is going to be. I have already decided. All you have to do is become an instrument in my plan. And so Krishna also showed the universal form to Arjun to give Arjun the confidence. A devotee has full confidence because they know Krishna is my best friend and Krishna is in control of everything. So why do I need to be in fear of anything in this world? And therefore, when Arjun realized Krishna is my best and everything's resting in no problem, Krishna's already decided. P stands for prayers. Arjun gave many, many prayers to Krishna, explaining how amazing Krishna is, how many opulences Krishna has, and how Krishna is ultimately maintaining each one of us. We should take note. Most of the time we think prayer is just there so we can ask Krishna for something. But that's only one type of prayer. You can also pray to Krishna to glorify him. You can pray to Krishna to thank him. You can pray to Krishna to express your gratitude. You can pray to Krishna to explain how fallen you are. You can pray to Krishna to explain what your weakness is. There's many different types of prayers. Not that only we make a prayer when we want to ask Krishna for something. Oh, can you give me a house by the sea, a color TV, a 50 million gigabyte MP3, Jaya Jagadisha Hare? No. We must pray in a wholesome way. And you'll see when the great Vaishnavas pray, they don't just ask for something, but they are always glorifying and expressing their great appreciation for the Lord. P stands for prayers. And then after praying, Arjun says to Krishna, Krishna, you're amazing. This is grand. I can see now that everything is going on by your will. I can see that you are time and you are the ultimate destructive factor in this world. But Krishna, please Krishna, can you go back to your armed form? A stands for armed form. Krishna, I want you to go back into your two-handed form. The one where you play the flute. The one where you hold the reins of my chariot. The one where you come and you can hug me sometimes. I want you to go back to that form, because that form, Krishna, I feel like I can relate to you better in that form. It's much more pleasing to my heart, that form. And so Krishna then goes back to his two-armed form. And his two-armed form, when he goes back, he says to Arjun, Sudur darsham midam rupam drishtavan asiyan mama. This darshan you're getting of my two-armed form. This is, in India, they have Doordarshan, the faraway vision. He says, this is not such an easy darshan to have because you are my devotee, because you have eyes which are smeared by the salve of love. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena shanta shadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Who will see Krishna? Will you see Krishna with these eyes? One time Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to wear glasses. He came down for darshan and the disciple realized that he didn't have his glasses. So he said, Guru Maharaj, I'll go and get your glasses so you can have darshan. Bhaktisiddhanta said, I will not see Krishna through these glasses. I am simply coming in front of Krishna. Krishna will see me. I am not the seer. I am the seen. And Krishna is seeing me. When I have some bhakti, when I have some prema, when I have some devotion, then I'll also be able to see Krishna. But until then, Krishna is seeing me. So that was his humility. But this is the point that Krishna is making. And even if you see Krishna, pasyanapi na pasyati, if you have no devotion, Krishna will be right in front of you and you won't understand the glory of Krishna. So this is the 11th chapter of the Gita. Rupa, the Vishvarupa. Arjun requests Krishna to show this form. Krishna shows the universal form and reveals to Arjun that everything is already predestined by his will. P, prayers. Arjun begins to say many prayers to Krishna, explaining his gratitude for his opulence. And then A, Arjun requests Krishna, can you go back to the normal form that I normally see you in, your armed form? And in this way, I will be very much happy. So this is the general overview of chapter number 11. And now I'm just going to share one more thing with you. Keshav Prabhu, can you give me rights? I'm just going to share one slide with you. And this slide for all of you listening is basically the main teaching of chapter number 11. Okay?
Yeah, sorry, Prabhu. I'm just
No
signing your rights.
So the main teaching of chapter number 11 is that Krishna is in control of everything. If I tell you you are not in control, how does that make you feel? Be honest. If I tell you tomorrow, you can write in the chat, let me know what your thoughts are. If I tell you you are not in control, anything could happen and it's outside of your control, how does that make you feel? Can you tell me some of your emotions, how you're feeling? Divya Gaurangi says Krishna is in control, yes. Anuttara says she feels hopeless. Kusum feels frightened. Yeah, tell me what else are you feeling? Today I'm telling you that you're not in control of anything. Alka feels worried, Raj feels vulnerable, Charmi feels anxious. Vishalini says fearful but happy. That's nice. The first positive emotion there. Shavita says she feels free, that she's not in control. Goethe says fantastic. We don't have to. It's interesting, isn't it? If I tell you you're not in control, it's almost like mixed emotions. On one hand, some are saying that they feel happy, liberated, free from anxiety, and others are feeling anxious, worried. They don't know what's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to share something with you. I think this will be useful for you. Okay, are we in control? Are we in control? That's the question on the table. Let me just get my chat up because I think we can have a little interesting thing here. Okay, yeah, Vatsala wants to go with the flow. Manju, Arav says, I'm never in control anyway. Does that mean your mom's in control? Yes. Okay, very good. Are we in control?
Yes.
Okay, there was a emphatic yes there on the...
Ashwin Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Who was that speaking?
Ashwin Prabhu.
Ashwin Prabhu says yes. Alka says no. Krishna Vani says we're never in control. Okay, so even it seems that all of you don't agree on this point, whether you're in control or not. Uncontrolled, but I leave everything in his hands. Deepak says we are in control. Actually, you're all right. It's a trick question. Okay, if you look at the slide here, Krishna talks in the Gita, there is fate, there is free will and destiny. We are in control in the sense that we have control over how we exercise our free will. However, there are also forces beyond our control who will then determine the outcome of that activity. So are we in control? In one sense, yes, we are in control. Arjun is in control. He can walk away from the battlefield, or he may not walk away from the battlefield. But Arjun is not in control in the sense that if Arjun stays on the battlefield, or if Arjun leaves the battlefield, ultimately the outcome of the war will be the same. So therefore, we are having some control, but ultimately Krishna is in control of everything that goes on. Now, what I want to share with you today, and this is the main teaching of the 11th chapter, there are two states of mind we can be in. One state of mind is, I'm in control. Another state of mind is, Krishna is my best friend and he's in control. Okay? Now, let me ask you, if in your life you experience success and your basic mentality is, I am the controller, what will happen in your life? Can you tell me on the chat? If you're successful and your basic mentality is that I am the controller, what will happen? Or what, like, how will you feel?
Very egoistic.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you can also, anyone can write on the chat as well, if anyone has any comments on this. So Mataji said you'll feel egotistical. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my chat here. Page. Sorry, 1 second, everyone. I'm just trying to.
And hi, Krishna. We try to rule people if we know that we under control, we on control.
Yeah, you think you own people? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If you think you're in control and you become successful, you'll become proud and complacent.
Yeah, that's
Isn't it?
correct. Yes.
Now, if your basic mentality is that Krishna is in control, now, if your basic mentality is that Krishna is in control and you become successful, how will you then feel?
Very humble.
Very happy.
Very humble.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, you'll feel grateful. You'll feel humble that I am so insignificant, but Krishna has brought this great fortune on me. And in this way, they say gratitude is the mother of all qualities. When you have gratitude, then all other good qualities like compassion, tolerance, everything comes automatically. Okay, very good. Now, say for example, in your life, you experience failure. If you think that I'm in control, what kind of emotions will you go through when you fail or when you experience failure?
Depression, sadness, depression.
Sadness, depression, you'll
Yes,
get
and yes.
Rejected.
yes, all of these things, isn't it? You'll feel depressed, frustrated, whatever it may be. Now, in your life, if you experience failure, but you know Krishna is in control, how will you feel? Anyone?
The past life karma.
Is my
It
karma?
really-
Yeah, it's not meant to be. Yes.
No.
What else?
It's our karma, past life karma.
Is my karma? Maybe I didn't deserve it. Okay. What else?
We feel relieved.
You feel relieved? Okay. Yeah. You feel like you're not taking it on your head that I'm inadequate or I'm wrong. It's just like, okay, Krishna didn't want it to happen. Fine. Very good. You become more accepting and you remain determined because you know every time Krishna says no to you, it's because he's going to have a bigger yes for you lined up later on. So you never become discouraged because you know if Krishna is not allowing this to happen, must mean he has something better. So you never feel down. Okay? If you go through difficulties in life and you think I'm in control, how will you feel? What emotions will you go through?
And we,
Anyone?
why me? Why me? Why is it coming
Why
to me?
me? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't understand it. You become confused. You know, many people are like this. They, for example, they get a disease or something, and they think I'm in control. Why, you know? You'll end up blaming other people. You'll become angry. But when you go through difficulties and you know Krishna is in control, then how will you feel?
Sheltered.
Frustrated again.
Yes, very good. Sheltered, yes. You'll feel
Relieved. We feel relieved and sheltered.
And you'll be reflective. You'll be like, I'm going through these difficulties, obviously, because Krishna wants me to go through these difficulties. So you'll reflect, like, why does Krishna want me to go through this? What am I supposed to learn? How can I grow from this experience? Because obviously it's happening for a reason. Okay, just see what happens in your life when you realize Krishna is in control. Your whole life will change. You can see here. When you're going through change and you think I'm in control, then you'll become nervous and overwhelmed. But when you go through change and you know Krishna's in control, you'll feel excited and confident. When you go through challenges and you think I'm in control, like say for example, if I tell one of you on the call, I don't know, like who's on the, you know, like if I say like, okay, Sangeeta or, you know, Varsha or Gerta, I want you to give the class tomorrow, challenge. Now, if you think you're in control, how are you going to feel? How are you going to feel?
Very excited and very proud.
And your ability, how are you going to feel?
Just stress.
Stress, yeah.
Exactly. You're going to feel inadequate. You're going to feel weak. You're going to be in anxiety. You're going to be stressed out. Like, I can't do this. I don't have enough ability. I don't have the... But if you know Krishna is in control and someone presents you with a challenge coming from Krishna's devotees or whatever, then how are you going to feel?
Very humble.
Confident.
Humble, you feel empowered.
Overwhelmed.
Go ahead with the
overwhelmed. Okay, but you know Krishna
pray
is
to
in control,
Krishna
right?
that everything goes okay.
Confident.
Confident? No.
How was Prabhupada able?
Empowered.
How was Prabhupada able to come to America with 40 rupees in his pocket at the age of 70 years old after having 2 heart attacks at sea, coming to America, not knowing anyone, coming off the ship and saying, didn't even know whether to turn left or right, but he was not overwhelmed by the challenge. Why?
He was determined, Prabhuji.
Why was he determined? Because he knew.
Yeah.
Because he knew that Krishna will help him.
Is with him.
Krishna, you are the master of all mystics.
Yes.
And what does it say at the end of the Gita? Yatra Yogeshvara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna or the pure devotee, there will always be victory, morality, and great opulence. Everything will be all right on the night, as they say. Prabhupada had that confidence. And therefore Prabhupada could do it. Who else would do it? No one would do that. No one would do that. Prabhupada had 2 heart attacks at sea, and then he comes off the boat. Any like normal person, they would probably go to the hospital to get it checked out. Like, what's happening with my heart here? Like, let's just get it checked out. Prabhupada didn't even go to a hospital. Prabhupada just went under a tree and started chanting Hare Krishna. That's how much he was just under the protection of Krishna. So it is beyond our imagination. But these are the kind of things that happen when someone has the faith that Krishna is in control. Spiritual life is hard. It's an uphill struggle. And if we think we're in control, then we'll always feel in Krishna consciousness, I'm hopeless, I'm so far away, I'm never going to be a good devotee, I'm never going to get initiated, I'm never going to get to the point where I'm like all these other devotees, because I think I'm just so low. But when you know that Krishna will help, Krishna, when you take one step to him, he takes 10 steps to you, and he controls everything. So even in the uphill struggle of spiritual life, when you have that faith that Krishna, hey gopi janavallabha vyathayate ha ha madashe vamam. Rupa Goswami says, I don't have knowledge, I don't have sadhana, I don't have good birth, I don't have good association. Krishna, practically, I don't have anything at all that will help me in my spiritual life. But the one thing I have, hey gopi janavallabha, you are the enchanter of the gopis, and you are so merciful. And therefore I have a hope. I have a hope that I'll make it. So you'll always feel hopeful in spiritual life if you know Krishna is in control. So today, what I wanted to share with you was that the essence of the 11th chapter is telling you Krishna is in control. Krishna is your best friend. Everything rests within Krishna, and Krishna has a plan. And if you just align yourself with Krishna's plan, everything will be okay. And life will be happy, peaceful. Even in the midst of so much turbulence around us, we won't experience any problems whatsoever. So this is the main thing I wanted to share with you today, and I'm over time. Thank you so much. I guess we don't take questions because I have overstepped the mark. Keshav Gokulananda Prabhu, I hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Sutapa Prabhu.
Thank you so
Jai.
much.
Thank you very much, Sutapa Prabhu. Yeah, everyone, please stay on. We're just having a short break, in the sense we're just going to do a presentation for the campaign we're launching today, and then we're going to hand it back to Sutapa Prabhu. So he's still around and he's still going to be there. And we may have time for questions if anybody wants to stay on. So without much ado delay, I will quickly jump into the campaign and share my screen so we can start off with that. Thank you again, Sutapa Prabhu. Very, very nice. And I feel very much inspired every time I listen to you, and also gives me the impetus to keep pushing ahead with spiritual life. So thank you very much. So I'm just sharing my screen now, and hope everyone can see my screen. We, quite a few of you must already be aware, launching this Live to Give campaign, which is a global initiative and a global goal to distribute 2 million Gitas across the world. And today we are launching a smaller sub-campaign within this global goal, which is asking 108 devotees to enroll to kickstart the campaign. Now, just these two quotes from Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada in a couple of his quotes, he said that this book distribution will save the world. And here he says that these books and magazines are our most important propaganda weapons to defeat the ignorance of Maya's army. And the more we produce such literature and sell them profusely all over the world, the more we shall deliver the world from the suicide course. So your work is the most important preaching work. May Krishna bless you more and more. Thank you for helping me in this way. So this was a letter to Jayadvaita Maharaj, and it was in Hyderabad, 18th of November. And then another quote he quotes, "One day they will realize that what valuable books we have left for the study of the whole world that will come." This was during a morning walk conversation. And the reason I picked these quotes is because obviously we are all going through a unprecedented year, 2020. And a lot of people are thinking that, how will we overcome this pandemic that's kind of overcome us? So again, Prabhupada gives us the panacea, the medicine here, that how this book distribution into literatures, we can save the whole world. And how can we all get involved? So we're starting off with this campaign where we're humbly requesting at least 108 devotees to come on board. At the moment, we've got 100 participants on this session itself. And there's more they were wanting to join, but I think our subscription only allows for 100 people. So unfortunately, some are still waiting, they couldn't join. So we're asking 108 devotees, even if each one of us, the 100 devotees on this session now sign up to it, that would be great. So 108 devotees that can reach out to at least 10 families and speak to them about Bhagavad Gita, the importance of Bhagavad Gita. And again, I'll hand it back to Sutapa to explain why it's so important to distribute this sacred literature, and ask them to sign up to the sponsorship schemes we've got. So it's very simple. You start with one family and make your way up to 10 families. So not a very big kind of endeavor task. Just start with one and then carry on. And the 4 sponsorship options we've got are a minimum of 15 Bhagavad Gitas that we ask devotees to either sponsor their family, friends, work colleagues, or they can sponsor and we can place them in prisons, care homes. So we've already got places they're waiting for us to place these Bhagavad Gitas there. So 15 Bhagavad Gitas at £71. And with that, you get a online attendance to the yagna that's happening over Gita Jayanti. And then the next sponsorship pledge is 26 Bhagavad Gitas at £115. With that, you get a special incentive of whoever sponsors 25 Gitas, they get a special gift. And then the next level is 52 Bhagavad Gitas at £221. With this, whoever sponsors this this pledge, they get an opportunity to have an online session with a family where we do Kirtan Yoga Yagna, so basically Kirtan, and also a chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the verse recitations from a chapter of Bhagavad Gita at their home over Zoom. And the last pledge we've got, but not the least, is 104 Bhagavad Gitas at £431. And with this, they get the special privilege of a Go Puja held at the manor on behalf of their family. So these are the 4 options that we can reach out to family, friends, work colleagues, anyone you know, and ask them to enroll onto one of the sponsorship pledges. And the donations are all done online via the Bhaktivedanta Manor website. And you've got the link there, krishnatemple.com/Shastradan. And as you can see over there, we've already got the pre-populated pledges. And also, if they feel inspired, they can also sponsor as many as they want by putting in the amount in the box there. And so to kickstart the campaign, we are going to start a list on the Sankirtan Forever group, where Sutapa Prabhu has already agreed to be the first person on the list. And so we all follow in his lead. And we just add our names to it, like what we did for the Bhadra campaign. And if anybody who's not on the Sankirtan Forever link, we will publish the link on the chat groups tonight. And also, if you take down my number on screen, I can add you to the Sankirtan Forever group. So again, I will now pass on to Sutapa Prabhu to maybe say a few words on why it's important to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, especially during these times and this unprecedented year of 2020. So thank you, everyone. Sutapa Prabhu, you're on mute, sorry.
Thank you, Prabhu. I want to really extend my gratitude to all of you in these difficult times for keeping book distribution going on. Prabhupada, from the very first day that he began the movement, to the middle days, to the very final days, the books were his life and soul. When Prabhupada decided to come to America, he only felt the confidence to come to America once his Bhagavatam had been printed. Srila Prabhupada, throughout his whole preaching, while he had started the movement, he said, when I get scores of books going out, the results of how many books are going out, I feel like a young boy again. And in the final days when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, And in that famous video where we see in his final hours, what is Prabhupada doing? He's translating Bhagavatam. So it was just so much of Prabhupada's sweat and energy went into the books. And he said, the best of my books, the best of me is in my books. So I think it's amazing that all the Vaishnavas in this difficult time, it's easy to give up. And we can just say like, oh no, we can't go out on the street, we can't go door to door, therefore we'll just wait till things get better and then we'll start distributing books again. But really all the devotees have taken the spirit of Prabhupada, who never saw obstacles and who said in every difficulty there's an opportunity. And all of you have really come together to try and create that opportunity in these difficult times to make sure the books start going out. So I, for one, am very humbled by all of you and the service you're doing. And I'm very happy to try and do my little bit, whatever I can do to help. And I think if all of us do that and chip in, you know, like you said, there's so many devotees on this call. If all of us, you know, sign up, you know, 5-10 people or, you know, make a pledge, you know, it goes a long, long way. And I'll just end with one story and then we can open it up for Q&A or whatever you'd like to do. I'll just end with one story, which is significant. One time Prabhupada, he was in a room with the devotees and out of the blue, Prabhupada just made a comment. Prabhupada would make these comments, it's incredible. Prabhupada just made this comment. He said, it's too late. It's too late. So it was totally like the devotees didn't understand what he meant. So Prabhupada then explained. He said, even tomorrow, if all the temples close, if all the devotees leave, if everything about the Krishna consciousness movement breaks down and stops, it's too late. He said, why? Because the books are out there. He said, even if everything gets finished, imagine like we have a COVID-19 lockdown and the whole thing for some reason just like finishes. Prabhupada said, still, it's too late because the books are out there. So he said, in the future, someone will read the books and they'll start the whole thing again. So I always found that fascinating. Prabhupada said it's too late. So this is the glory of book distribution, that once the books go out, magic starts to happen. We don't know how, where, in what way, but it's such a magical thing. So we just somehow or other, we need to put the books out there. And yeah, my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas who are really doing that. I take the dust from the feet of all the book distributors. They're very, very dear to Prabhupada. And Krishna says, Nachatasman manusheshu kashkin me priyakritama bhavita nachameta smad anya priyataro bhuvi. Krishna says, if you explain and give and distribute and communicate this message of the Gita to others, there is no servant in this world more dear to me than that person. I mean, if you're looking for an incentive to distribute books, I mean, I don't know what better incentive you can get than that. Krishna says, Priya Anyataro Bhuvi, there is no one more dear to me in the entire 3 worlds than that person. So, so thank you to the team for giving us an opportunity, and let's all do it. Let's make it a memorable marathon. It's such an exciting time of year. Kartik is coming, the marathon is coming. I mean, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So yeah, these were some thoughts I had, and whatever you desire to do, Keshav Prabhu, either we finish here or if there's Q&A or some other comments, as you like.
Thank you very much, Sutapa Prabhu. And as always, you are kind of the epitome of book distribution at the Bhaktivedanta Manor. We've seen your campaigns go through. I remember the campaign of 100,000, and then we are trying to double up the 200,000 campaign. So nothing is impossible, as you said, and with your blessings and your inspiration, I'm sure we will get there. So everyone's request is just sign yourself up to this list. Just reach out to 10 families, ask them to start with a minimum sponsorship of 15 Bhagavad Gitas, and little from a lot will get there. So I think we can continue up to 9 if everyone's okay to do that. If people have to go and have other duties, they can drop off. But for Q&A, we can continue up to 9 if everyone's okay with that. Thank you again, Sutapa Prabhu. Very, very much grateful and indebted for you to come online today. And as always, we are very, very inspired and happy to see you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess if someone has a call, I guess it's very informal. You can just unmute yourself and ask, or if you want to ask on the chat, that's also fine. Yeah, anything, I don't know, anything I can do to, if there's any question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, is that Jolie?
It is, yes.
Oh, see, that was a good guess. Nice to hear your voice, Jolie. Nice
Thank
to
you.
see
We
you.
miss you coming to the temple.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
We're missing
this is to do with questions. I hope that is okay to ask that.
Yeah, sure.
I just always wondered what is an intelligent question, and how do you know you're making an intelligent question? And because sometimes I feel, I feel that restricted in asking, because I feel sometimes it might be a stupid question. so it bugs me sometimes.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for asking that. I mean, we have to ask good questions. In the Bhagavatam, after the sages ask Sutta Goswami many questions, then Sutta Goswami says, Munayo saduprishtoham bhavadbir lokamangalam yat krita krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. He says, your questions are amazing. And why? Bhavadbir lokamangalam, because they create goodness in society, they create goodness in your life, and ultimately they're questions which will bring you closer to Krishna. So you see, like one time someone came to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he had a question. He said, Swamiji, can you see Krishna? Bhaktisiddhanta said, third-class question. Why are you asking me such a rubbish question? Don't ask me these kind of questions. So the president, Bhaktisiddhanta said, if I say, yes, I've seen Krishna, or no, I've not seen Krishna, what will it do to help you to see Krishna? Rather than asking me, have I seen Krishna? Why don't you ask me, Swamiji, how can I see Krishna? He said, that's a good question to ask. So the best question to ask, Jolie, is a question which will bring you closer to Krishna, which will bring others closer to Krishna, and which will create Krishna consciousness in the world. That's my understanding. I hope that helps.
Hare Krishna. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Oh, Shambhi Hare Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I just want to ask you a question. It is quite obvious, we used to do so many devotional service in terms of helping in the kitchen, helping in the temple. But now it's because of the COVID pandemic, we can't do that. So our position in terms of, rendering devotional service in terms of working for Krishna, how does that, how do you measure that when you look in the long term, if this continues, especially when we have to do our sadhana every week, we have to do 2 hours service for Krishna. So what does that make? What does it take you? You know, at the end of the day, how do you compensate?
Yeah, good question. Good question. So many of you have temple service, but now the temple service is gone. So how do you fulfill your service requirements?
Yes.
Every situation provides a unique opportunity. So we can also see that maybe, just maybe, Krishna is not allowing the devotees to come and serve in the temple. Oh my God, like, why would Krishna do that? Because maybe Krishna wants us to go out. Maybe Krishna wants us to go out and serve others. Actually, Prabhupada said the temple is only a base from which everyone should go out and bless the world with the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So in this time where you can't come to the temple and you're restricted in terms of doing what you normally do here, but obviously you want to serve, you want to help, you want to please Krishna, this is the ideal opportunity to serve Krishna in a different way. And the devotees are providing that opportunity. Go out, give books to people, participate in preaching, and in whatever way you can, try and spread Krishna consciousness in the community that you're in. And so what I want to say to you, Shambhihari, is that in every problem, there's an opportunity. And instead of seeing that we've been restricted in service because of COVID, try to change your way of thinking and say, what has COVID provided us in order to increase our service in a different way? And you'll find that one of the key ways in which you can increase your service, because you're not able to do temple service, is use all of that time to do outreach from the temple. And maybe, just maybe, some magic will happen, because Krishna says, Anya priyataro bhuvi, there's no one more dear to the person to me than the one who reaches out.
Thank you very much. Stop.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Shavita, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Can you tell me? Can you tell us what the top tips are for book distribution and preaching? Like top 3 or 5 tips.
Oh, that's a long seminar, but okay, a few things. First thing is courage. You have to be brave. You have to be bold. You have to go outside of the comfort zone. And how do we get courage? That's exactly what we are talking about today. Krishna says, I'm in control. I'm your friend. Don't worry, Arjun. You just fight. Be the instrument. I'll make all the arrangements. Don't you worry about anything. So the first thing is be courageous, be bold. Fortune favors the brave. Prabhupada said I was brave. When I was a child, Prabhupada said, I climbed the Victoria Memorial right to the top. One devotee said, Prabhupada, as a child, you must have been very brave. Prabhupada said, I was brave then, and I'm brave now. Otherwise, how could I have come to your country with nothing? So we have to be brave. Courage, that's the first thing. Second thing is competence. Learn how to speak to people. When you speak to people, when you're trying to distribute books, when you're trying to convince people about Krishna consciousness, you have to be competent. You have to know what are their needs, what are their interests, what are their concerns. Unless you know the needs, interests, and concerns of the people that you're trying to communicate to, you will not be able to communicate to them effectively. So take some time to think about what's going on in the world, what the world needs, what people are concerned about, and then link book distribution to that. Then you'll be successful. So second C is competence. Third C is charm. A bit of charm doesn't go, it goes a long way, you know. We have to endear people. So when you're speaking, when you have to bring people closer. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So by your charm and your care and your concern for people, bring them closer. And then the final thing that I'll say today is consciousness and compassion. If we have Krishna consciousness, if we're Krishna conscious, and if we're genuinely out there because we're compassionate and we want to help people, then you'll be successful in your book distribution. So these are some things. If you want to be a successful book distributor, courage, competence, charm, care, good consciousness, and like that. I said a few things. So yeah, so these are some things. It's a longer discussion, but yeah, some things for you to think about.
Thank you.
9:01, maybe we finish.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Sutapa Prabhu. And just to add that, the list, we've already got 6 people join the list on Sankirtan Forever. We've got Sutapa Prabhu as the first person on the list, and then we've got Vrindavan Chanda Prabhu, Divyanam Prabhu, Mukunda Hari Prabhu, Varsha Mataji. And just to mention that we will provide you with training, as Sutapa Prabhu mentioned. We may also get Sutapa Prabhu to provide us with some training, give us some training. So we will provide you with training and support to reach out to those 10 families. And all we're asking you to sign up to the list, start with 1 family, and that way build yourself up to 10 families, asking each family to distribute at least 15 Bhagavad Gitas or sponsor 15 Bhagavad Gitas, and which is a very doable task. And also Diwali is coming, Kartik is coming. A lot of people want to do some dan, you know, and Shastra Dan is very, very good. Very, as Prabhupada said, the highest welfare activity we can do. So again, a lot of people are out there waiting, you know, how they can use their Lakshmi in some pious activities, especially during this year of 2020 and the pandemic surrounding us. So we just need to reach out to them, and you'll be surprised how so many will come and readily, you know, want to accept and want to sponsor and give out these books to the people waiting for these books. So please add your name to the list, and we will reach up to 108 very quickly. I'm sure, and I guarantee that Prabhupada will inspire us all to do this most wonderful activity. So thank you again, Sutapa Prabhu, for this wonderful session, and thank you everyone for your audience. So we may want to thank Sutapa Prabhu with 3 Haribols, as in the tradition. If everybody wants to unmute themselves and say Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Sutapa Prabhu, thank you very much. Krishna, wonderful association. Hare Krishna, devotees.
And very much encouraging.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So nice to have your darshan, Sutapa.
Wonderful class.
Really lovely to see you.
Yay, nice to see
Lovely
you.
to listen to you.
After a long time.
I got 10 minutes of your association, Prabhuji, because we couldn't get onto the system. Better late than never.
Was sold out the session. See, that's why more sought after. His Grace Sutapa Prabhu ki.
Jai.
Hi.
Keep safe.
Hare